Okay, we were fortunate in having an early naval leadership in the 50s and 60s, which did foresee this issue that you can build the armed forces, you can create armed forces, but for them to be truly national, you got to build the hardware also in India. And somehow they resolutely pushed this proposal with the government, and we started building warships under license from Britain as far back as 1960s. And once that started going, then the government also, confidence was built up in the system. And now today our Indian warship building industry is very mature. And as I mentioned in my talk, we can build anything from a patrol boat to a destroyer to a submarine to something as big as an aircraft carrier. So we have that capability. The government has backed us up, and in that way the Navy is very proud that we are different from the Army and the Air Force. They wanted hardware now, and that can only be done if you import it. The Navy agreed to wait. We also accepted that mistakes will be made while we design and build our own ships and so on. So with all this tolerance built in, we got off to a good start. Unfortunate part is that we can build a ship, we can design a ship, we can build it, we can integrate the electronics and so on, but the many of the systems that go inside the ship, and I'll count them for you: the engines, whether it's diesel, gas turbine, nuclear, or even steam engines, the gun, the missiles, the radar, the torpedoes, all of these come from abroad. And the other issue is that had we allowed the private sector to enter the arms market, they would have invested in R&D, they would have brought better techniques, better work culture, and perhaps we may not have been in this embarrassing position that we find ourselves today in. Yeah, theatre command means this whole issue revolves around something called jointness, that in today's environment, no country in the world, no country of significance will fight a war where each service acts on its own, has its own plans, has its own, which is where we are today. It is unrealistic, it is wasteful of money, and in war it could be disastrous. So the idea is to become joint. All three services must plan jointly, operate jointly, learn how to fight together. So this can only happen when you have a single man on top, a single point advisor to the government. He is called the Chief of Defence Staff. And once we have a Chief of Defence Staff, he will create this environment where the services work jointly. And then the proof of the pudding will be when we can create a theatre command where it is required. Like today in the Andaman Nicobar, we've got a theatre command. Army, Navy, Air Force are under a single commander. All plans are joint, they work together, they fight together. So similarly, theatre commands will have to come and will come only once you put in place a Chief of Defence Staff and start a program of making the services joint, planning, and we are wasting money. Each service buys its own hardware, it's a waste of money. When you have a joint organization, you will save on money, you will be more efficient, and you will be certainly far, far more combat worthy as a joint force. Yeah, okay, so the problem was twofold, that the people, the rulers of those eras, maybe 14th, 15th, 16th century when the Europeans started coming, they didn't have a maritime vision, and yet there's an exception that Shivaji realized that if he was going to combat the Europeans and the Siddhis who were troubling him, he had to have a navy. So he founded a navy. That navy was based on country craft called gurabs and galibats. They were rowed or had sails, very rudimentary armament. And the irony is that almost at the same time there was a Parsi family called the Wadias who started a shipbuilding industry in Mumbai. And the Wadias were building ships for the East India Company, which could travel across the seas, and they were also building warships for the Royal Navy. So if Indians could build ships for the British, if Indians built warships for themselves and looked a little more closely at capability like guns and cannons and so on, all this was not inevitable. If we had fought off they were small countries, Portuguese were a tiny little country, so was UK. Had we fought them off, we would not have been in the situation that we are today. Answers that. Yes. No, the best example of private partnership is the INS Arihant, our first nuclear submarine, has been built jointly between the Navy and L&T. So the private sector has a lot to contribute provided we allow them to take part. So far, The defense bureaucracy has actively pushed the private sector away, in spite of making noises that we are trying to bring them in. In fact, they've been kept out. So I think the sooner they come into this sector, the better for everybody.